My name's Kirsten and I'm a first-time farmer, and today what I'm doing is I am making a new soil mix to go in all of these pots that I just acquired. I spent $0 to acquire said pots because it is currently spring cleanup in my city. I live in a small town, and yet there's a lot of shit on the side of the road. So like 5 stacks like this of miscellaneous pots. These are the biggest, well, the second biggest size, and then I've got all the other sizes that there are. So what I'm doing right now is I am creating a little concoction of sorts, and then I'm just mixing it together, and then I'm filling up different size pots because next week the greenhouse that I ordered off of TikTok Shop is arriving, and I will be assembling it on Saturday. Stay tuned for the video on that. So basically I'm finishing up a batch right now. I already did a batch. It's not complicated, but I'm just going to show you me putting it in the pot, and then I'm going to make another batch. Yeah. So I've got a bunch like this. They're pretty standard size. I don't know how big they are. 12 inches across. Something like that. And then these ones, they came with like this thing on the inside, and it helps because it means I have to put less soil in here in general, so I just want to go with it, you know. Why the fuck not? I'm not going to fill them all the way up because I'm transplanting other plants into these, plants that are bigger or in other containers that have soil that goes with it, so that I don't have to take any soil out. Sometimes when these things are old, they get so like stuck together. And also, yes, this is a litter box. It was never used. I got it a long time ago because I had a bunch of cats, and now I don't have a bunch of cats and I only have one, so I only need one litter box. So this one never actually even got used, so I've been using it to do random stuff. I was holding all the ingredients in here before, just in their separate packaging, so that I could haul it around to different areas. But yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Finished mix looks like. It's kind of hard to see. You'll see what's in it here in a second, and this is what I've found to work best, even though this is my first summer as a gardener. I'm kind of disappointed, honestly, at how many of these are filling up. I feel like I'm using a lot of soil and I'm not filling that many, but the ones that I am filling are pretty big. So this is the part where I show you what's in it. So I've used this one before. I just bought it at Dollar Tree for $3.50, and I bought 4 of them. But it's all-purpose potting soil for all indoor and outdoor potted plants. It says on the back that the ingredients are aged forest products, processed pine bark, Canadian fangum peat moss, reed sedge peat, sand, composted rice hulls, perlite, and limestone for pH control. And then I just put a good amount in here. I'm gonna put more because that's not enough. Considering I only spent like $12 for all these bags of soil, I'm getting a lot of use out of them. I think I'm going on a budget because that's just what it is right now. So I'm trying to get the highest quality of growth and harvest that I can with the amount of stuff I have. And then this is from where I work. I work in a greenhouse, which is why I'm learning all this information, and I feel like I'm qualified to pass it on. But this is perlite. I got a 10-quart bag for $10. I'm not going to shout out my workplace, but this is pretty cheap. So I'm not doing any measurements. I'm just adding like a bit. And then if after I mix this up, if I don't think it's enough, I'll just add more. Because what perlite does is it's light. It's almost like styrofoam, except it's not so toxic. And basically it helps aerate the soil. On top of that, it's used as a filler so that you don't have to use as much soil. It's used to keep things from getting clogged at the bottom of your pots. Keeps the soil from being hydrophobic for the most part. It doesn't always work that well for that one specifically. What I've experienced is that some soils, depending on what they're made up of, they don't take in water well, and that's called hydrophobic soil. If it doesn't take in water well, it's not seeping in right away. As soon as you start to water it, if it's not seeping into the soil, or if the top layer of the soil is getting wet, but the rest of it's still dry, no matter how much water you put, that means that your soil is hydrophobic. So putting more perlite can actually help with that. The next thing that I put is ash, which I don't know what it is in me that wants to do this, but these are from our fire pit, and I just used this thing that I also got off the side of the road. It's a little strainer, and I just, you know, sift some ash in there. A lot. I do a lot usually. It's said in many cultures to be a great fertilizer. I haven't done the research, but I believe them. Irish potato farmers, when they put the spud in the ground, they sprinkle ash on top of it, and then they cover it with soil. So I believe them, because I'm Irish, so I'm just going to go with it, and that's a supply that I have. So yeah, I'm going to use it. Next thing is next. I also got this from my workplace. It is organic garden tone. But it's garden tone, herb, and vegetable food. I don't really know what's in here, but I know that when you have potted plants, you really do need to have some type of fertilizer, and this is slow release. Yeah, it says mix 2 cups per cubic foot of soil, or 1.5 tablespoons per quart. I'm not doing any measurements here, so I'm just gonna put them in. Yeah, that's enough. This is kind of how I do things. And then what I do, that smells so bad. Then what I do is I put charcoal in the fire pit. Yes, I burnt wood in the fire pit just so that I could have free charcoal. If you're hating, you're probably just mad because you don't have a fire pit. I don't know what to tell you. But I just kind of crush it up so they're not like huge chunks. And then I just sprinkle that in there. A lot of people say that adding charcoal in, it kind of does a similar thing to perlite. It's lightweight, so it keeps the soil light. It keeps it from getting like clogged up and stuck together and soggy. It helps with drainage. It helps with aeration. Because ash does something for fertilizer, I'm sure charcoal does something too. I just haven't done the research to figure that out yet. But those are all the ingredients that I put in here. It's looking pretty good so far. If you can see, it's looking pretty good. I personally, I'm trying to get the most bang for my buck, so I'm going to add more perlite into it so that I can fill more containers. I bought this for $10 a while ago, and I've been using it a lot, and now I'm filling up like a super lot of plants, and I probably won't even use the whole thing, so that's exciting. I was going to buy worm castings today to add to this mix, but they were kind of expensive where I'm at. I was also going to use Coco Noir, which was said to be at the Dollar Tree. I went to the Dollar Tree and it was not there, so that's all I can say about that. That one, I guess you don't have to add so many things into it, and it's pretty good, I guess, but couldn't find it, so this is what we're going with, because I feel like if I wait to do this, and I just wait and wait and wait and wait until everything's perfect, then it'll never happen. So I'm just rolling with it. So far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 medium to large pots filled. This one, I think I'm going to do the same size, medium to large pots, some more of them. I'm actually going to show a hack real quick though, first. This is a big pot, right? This is a big pot. Like, hello, it's pretty big. It's got drainage holes at the bottom. I got it for views on the side of the road. It's fairly deep. when you have something that's really big like this and you want to have that surface area on the top so that you can either plant a lot of stuff, plant something that's creeping so it climbs all over, something that gets really big, or if you want to plant multiple different things in the same pot, but you don't want to fill it with soil all the way to the bottom because that's kind of a lot of soil. And if you don't have a lot of soil, you might not want to do that. So there's actually a trick that I learned. What you do, it obviously has to have drain holes in it. You take it, you put it upside down into there, and then bam, you fill the soil around that, and you save a ton of space. Now, I'm seeing here that this actually gets quite close to the top of where I would fill the soil to, so I'm gonna actually pick something a little bit smaller. Not gonna fill this pot right now because I don't need anything this big quite yet, but now you know. Now you know. I would use, this is the smallest one I've got right now, and it's way too small to even effectively do anything to this, so I'm just not gonna do it. Now, I'm doing more of these size. I wish that I bought wood chips because then I would put wood chips at the bottom and use that as a filler. I hate stickers on things. I would put wood chips on the, gosh, why do they do this? I hate it when the stores, they don't want you to take the sticker off, so they cut the sticker into a million pieces. Like, are you really trying to protect the pot that badly? Why are you doing that? It's so stupid. So, yeah, but if I had bought wood chips, I would have put those in the bottom of all these as another filler. But I was conflicted with the wood chips because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't really know what dyes they put in those because they got like brown wood chips, red wood chips, and black wood chips for the most part. And I'm like, pretty sure that most of those wood chips don't come naturally all homogeneously that color. So I don't know what they put in there, and I don't buy stuff that I don't know what's in it really often. So I didn't get that. I wish I did a little bit, but I didn't. So here we are. So far I've got 9 of them, which that's kind of a lot. And I still have 2 bags of soil left, plus everything that's in here. So I think I'm doing pretty good. Right now, what I have in the house is I have seedlings, I have young plants, and then I've got some established house plants that have been growing all winter. I'm probably going to be starting some new seedlings next week when I get my greenhouse. I haven't really been able to do that because it's not warm enough in the room where I keep my plants for the seedlings to germinate properly. But when they're in the greenhouse and it's warming up and they get the sun all day and there's no windows, it's just all greenhouse, then it'll probably work out a lot better. And my germ rate will go up, so that's what I'm counting on. This winter, I tried to germinate a lot of different things, and I've never done it before. I just was like, hey, I'm gonna try this and see if it works. And for the most part, it worked for a moment, and then they died. I experimented a lot with artificial lights earlier this year, mostly in January, and let me tell you about something about those. That artificial light may cost you $50, $100, but it added $400 to my electric bill in 1 month alone. So, just keep that in mind. If you don't know what the voltage is, you might not want to get into that, especially don't have the lights running all the time. I was really new to it, okay? So I had the lights running 24 hours a day. I didn't realize that plants have to have nighttime and daytime. I didn't realize that they don't have to have full spectrum 100% of the day. So a lot of that was my fault, and I'll own up to that, but I'm just giving a warning because some stuff you don't know until you know. Also at that time, I didn't work at the greenhouse yet, so I don't know a lot of the stuff that I know now about growing plants. I'm just going to keep doing batches of these until I feel satisfied or until I run out of dirt, because I work full time and I don't have a whole lot of time where I'm at home. So coming out and getting dirty and doing something like this, it's not an everyday thing for me. Not gonna do it every day, not gonna do it every night. I only have so much energy to use. Unless you know where I can get some for free, this is what I'm gonna be going with. So I kind of it also helps me focus. If I do things in big batches like this, just getting a lot of things done at once, call it what you want, but I am autistic, so this kind of changing between activities a lot doesn't really help with my productivity. But doing things in big batches, making an assembly line of one person, and that is me, it helps me a lot, actually. It helps me get things done. I don't know if it's toxic to inhale this dusty dust that's coming out of here, but I'm trying not to do it, but I am talking, so I probably am breathing it all into my mouth. I'm just mixing again with my hands. I mean, it seems like a really good mixture. Obviously, I haven't done it before. I mean, with my houseplants and everything that's in my indoor greenhouse, I just have been using perlite and soil mix, and then sometimes I add in the fertilizer, sometimes I've added charcoal. The charcoal in large amounts seems to really be bad and not work at all, so I wouldn't recommend that. It almost seemed to like do the opposite, because some people say that charcoal like helps retain water, and then some people says it helps drain the water. Some people say it retains moisture, some people say the opposite. I don't really know what the truth is, but with my experience, using a lot of it is not good for business. Also, I would discourage from using materials that you aren't familiar with. That's kind of why I didn't use worm castings, because I don't really know what they are, what they do. There's a lot of people that have said to use a million and one different things. I'd say if you can't afford to buy it 5 times and also get the rest of your groceries, you shouldn't buy it. That's just me. That's why I kind of started this in the first place. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to grow plants and save money. And now I'm a couple $100 in and haven't eaten a single fruit of my labor except some herbs. So the money making part isn't true at first. It's not true with a lot of things at first, but this one especially. You're going to fuck up a lot before you get some good shit. I also tried to do hydroponics for a while, and I don't recommend it. Unless you have fancy equipment, I don't recommend it. Unless you have a lot of tools and a lot of know-how about constructing things, making electricity, making water pumps, cleaning water, knowing about fungus, knowing about bacteria, I wouldn't even do it. Also, there's a whole different number of diseases that come with hydroponics that you don't get with soil. Even though there's a bunch of ones with the soil and they introduce bugs into the mix, the same thing is kind of true for hydroponics. I really don't even know how many plants I have. It's probably the more than I think that I have, and I'm just going to continue to buy more from my workplace. So I'm just trying to prepare myself for that influx of plants that need to be potted, repotted, and find a temporary home with me. This is a really good one. Nice big holes for draining. Nice big holes for draining. So I started off with trying to grow herbs, which are harder than you would think, because it's pretty difficult to get past the germination stage when you don't know what you're doing. Planted some jalapenos. One of those grew really big, and then I was fucking around with it one day. I was touching it too much, and then I fucked up the root system, so it died. But I'm growing some more. I've bought bell pepper plants, cucumber plants. I bought some flowers, not a lot. Mostly portulaca. Happy Trails is the one that I got a couple days ago, which I grow that in my greenhouse, and I like it a lot. That's why I bought it. I also bought dill and rosemary. I also have basil, lemon balm. Got a ton of different mints, including wild mints that I've gotten from different places because they are invasive. So I do collect those in the name of conservation. Yeah, we'll call it that. In the name of conservation, I've taken a lot of wild mint from the wild. Never more than one at a time from each section where it's growing, but that stuff grows really well. And you have to keep it potted because otherwise it will take over everything else that you have growing. I've heard it a million times. People think it's new news for you to tell them that. But I've heard it a million times, so it's gotta be true. And I've seen it happen in nature, so again, it's gotta be true. Some of these are dirty, a lot of them have water in it, but it's free. This stuff was free, so I'm gonna keep getting it. Actually, I'm not gonna keep getting it because spring cleaning is only for like 1 week, so that's why I took advantage of it in the first place. That's all I'm gonna say for today because I'm just potting today. There's not even any plants in this garage. But next weekend, I'm going to be putting together a greenhouse. So shit's about to be crazy. Shit's about to get really intense, really fast. But I think it's gonna be very rewarding, and I'm very excited. With that, this is the Enigma Investigators.